Hello, welcome to Record Time. Record Time is a weekly Akashic experience where we explore simple and mysterious themes through the lens of the Akashic Records. My name is Mina. I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm excited to see what the keepers of the Akashic Records have to share with us today. So let's dive in. So, what the keepers are asking us this week is, what is spiraling in your life right now? What is spiraling in your life right now? And I know that word is used often in a way that is actually kind of negative, and that's not how they're using it here. So I know that people kind of say, myself included, sometimes it's like, oh, things are spiraling, or it's a downward spiral, or whatever. That's not how they're using it. So what they mean when they say spiraling is how things in life can move like literally spiralically, like cyclically, how you can notice recurring patterns, themes, experiences that come back around almost sometimes seasonally, as rhythmically as every year. Maybe there's a certain thing that happens each year, or a certain mood that you find yourself in each year, or something about a particular season that you're noticing. Or it could even be like a stretched out spiral or rhythm. It's like maybe once every 5 years you notice something, or maybe something happened 10 years ago and you're noticing a similar theme kind of coming up for you now. And you're just noticing that there's like a parallel or a similarity there for you in your own experience. So that's what they mean when they say spiraling. They mean like, are you noticing something similar to an experience you've had in the past? A recurring motif or a theme that's coming up that you can recognize and almost like greet as like, oh, I know this one. It's familiar. Sort of like deja vu, but not as jarring as that necessarily. And so the imagery they're offering us with this is, if you could imagine a really, really tall, like a very grand scale artwork that is like multiple stories high. Maybe it's a sculpture, maybe it's a gorgeous painting, maybe it's a mural, whatever your mind wants to imagine. So a really like lovely artwork. And imagine too, because of its scale, imagine that there's a spiral ramp or staircase that's going up, that's near the artwork. And that's the way that you view it, is by slowly ascending this spiral ramp. And so if you can imagine yourself starting at the bottom of that spiral and looking at the artwork, it will look one way. And then if you go one spiral up and then look at it again, it'll look different because you're at a different height. You're in a different place. And so this is the difference between, right, we're not walking in a circle, we're walking in a spiral. So there's like, it's similar, but it's not the same. You're looking at the same thing, but your experience of it and your perspective is a little bit different. So there's nuance to this, absolutely. And if you continue to go up and you go up one more spiral, you come back around. It comes back around into your view again after you go one more spiral up that ramp. It's going to look different. And as you go a few up, it's going to look completely different than it did at the bottom. So this is kind of the way that they're saying, imagine you were experiencing your life like this. And so is there something in your life that you are noticing is spiraling, that you are in a spiral dance with, where, oh yeah, I've seen this before. It's not exactly the same. This exact thing didn't happen, but very, very similar. And maybe it's like, ooh, the similarity is actually more felt internally than externally. Something is happening and it's actually not the same thing, but I feel the same. Or I notice I'm responding to this thing in a way that's similar to something I've responded to in the past, even though they're different experiences. So the spiral in your life could be a completely internal experience. It could also be an external thing where it's like, oh, actually, this situation has happened before. It could be as like miraculous as, oh, I'm having another child, right? Where it's like, oh, wow, I've done this once before. It's similar, but it's not the same. So it could be something like that, where it's an external and, of course, internal experience, but it could be a life event like that, where it's like, oh, I've done this once before. I've been in this once before. So that's what they mean by that question. And it seems like there's more around this, so I'm gonna listen for a moment. So the reason that they're asking us this question isn't just for fun, to notice like, oh, how neat, this is coming back around again. It's to notice, it's an opportunity to notice, like, if you are aware, oh, there's a spiral happening here. I'm in a spiral, like a wonderful, sweet, familiar, interesting spiral. It's actually an invitation to celebrate that you might not be in the same position that you were the first time. And it doesn't even mean that the first time is bad. It's just a celebration of growth, potentially, where even if it was really lovely the first time, maybe there's something about it this time on this second spiral or third spiral or fourth spiral where it's like, oh yeah, it's similar, but it's different. And maybe that celebration is, oh, I have a little bit more skill around this thing, or I feel a little more comfortable around this thing, or even gratitude, like, wow, I'm so grateful that I get to do this similar thing again. So that's one piece, and almost like one avenue of this is, ooh, is there something to celebrate on your spiral? Is there something to savor or enjoy about it this time around that's a little bit different than the last time, or that you might have missed and not had the chance or the awareness to even take it in and enjoy it fully? So it's like really making the most of this point on the spiral. Like, okay, I notice I'm in something similar, and what am I celebrating about this? Is there growth that has happened? Is there a chance to relish and cherish it more fully this time around? So that's kind of the joyful inquiry that's present there. The other piece to this is perhaps it is something difficult that's spiraling back around. And it could be, a felt sense of personal transformation. It could be knowing that you're in a moment of growth and it's difficult. It could be like, oh, I've been in this challenge before. Maybe it's a relational dynamic that's coming up again. Maybe it's a circumstance or even a health experience, that's coming up that's challenging. So in those moments where you're noticing, ooh, I'm in a difficult spiral and actually I would love to not be in this, there's still, this is still an invitation for gracious and even potentially joyful inquiry here, where the question might be, still, what am I celebrating in this? And it could be that, yes, oh my God, this is so hard and I wish this wasn't happening and I don't like it, but I am a little bit more adept at handling this challenge this time around. Oh, I'm noticing I'm not completely thrown off my axis this time. I'm handling it a little bit differently this time. Or I'm able to respond with more presence and awareness this time. Or I'm able to recover a little bit more quickly. So there's this like, ooh, are you noticing some resilience this time around that wasn't there the first time? So again, there could be growth present, growth that you're being invited to notice, even in a difficult spiral potentially. And it feels like there's one more piece around this, so I'm going to listen once again. And really, what they're saying is whether this spiral is difficult or really beautiful, or maybe most likely a mix of both, the invitation of this inquiry is, can you give yourself grace And can you witness your own growth? So, in the difficulty, in the beauty, this is a chance to notice not just that, oh, this thing is similar, but it's, oh, I am different. So, through this reflection of, oh, something similar is happening again, what am I noticing in myself? Is there something different about myself? Or is there something that is the same in myself, that is strengthened and maybe even being drawn out more? That was there last time, that is coming out even stronger this time. So is there something that this spiral is reflecting in you? That is what the root of this inquiry is. It is to engage with your spiralic experience as a really gentle, sweet mirror back to your own growth and your own experience. So that's where I'm going to leave you for today, is with this inquiry. What is spiraling in your life right now? And how is it reflecting back to you? So I would love to know what this sparks in you, if it inspires something in you, if you notice a spiral happening in your life, if you notice what it is reflecting back to you, what it's kind of illuminating within yourself. I would love to know if you feel called to share. So you're, as always, welcome to leave a comment on this, sharing your inspiration and what came through for you. You're also welcome to send me a message through my website, which is minaruchi.com. And until next time, I'm wishing you well. Namaste.